Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be showing you how to do your gear oil and your rear differential. We're going to be doing it on Isaiah's Explorer over there. We have some 80W90 gear oil, new gasket. I think we're actually going to be using RTV. You can use specific gear oil RTV, or you could use the black stuff. This is good for oil as well. And should be pretty easy. You also need a pump.
Hi y'all.
Have this pump right here, pretty easy. Just stick one end in the gear oil and then the other end in the inlet to the differential. First thing that we're doing here is we actually lowered the spare tire out of there to give some more room before we drive up on our ramps. You can buy these ramps pretty cheap. They're like 60 bucks, not too bad. So first step in this is do exactly that. If you have a spare tire that might be in the way, remove it, and then get your car up on jack stands or ramps. All right, so under the back of the car, we've got everything all raised. You can see the rear differential here. The Ford 8.8 rear ends can actually accept this GT500 cover. So it's aluminum cover that has fins and actually has a fill and a drain plug. The gasket that we put in has actually been leaking. So what we're gonna do is we're still gonna have to take it off. So this will apply to pretty much everybody's cases. Usually these don't have a fill or drain plug. You have to actually unbolt it and then let the fluid fall out. And then on the back of the differential, there's usually a hole where you can fill up the differential fluid. This is gonna be kind of hard to see. So you can actually see the fill plug right there, right there. So that is where you'd fill it. And it's always a good idea to check and see if you can loosen the fill plug first before you start adding fluid, just in case something happens and you drain all your fluid and you're not able to get it back in. So in this case for this Explorer, it's in the back, but it can be on the sides of the differential. And just for reference where we are, here's the drive shaft and back. Since we have the GT500 rear differential cover, we will just fill it from the fill plug up there. So once we have it off, we'll just make sure we can remove it, and then we'll be good to proceed with this. Might need some more leverage there.
A little bit, yeah. There we go.
I wonder if they had or no, there's no RTV on this, so
no,
they didn't lock it in.
I think the only thing that we did is that we put some silicone in it, or silicone on the gasket itself.
Oh, right. Yeah.
To keep it in place, but it wouldn't have affected that.
There it is. So we're actually using the drain plug to drain it first. It might make it a bit less messy. Expect a lot of mess if you're doing it without a cover like this. When you have to remove the whole cover, just do very carefully. Leave one bolt at the top, yeah, and kind of pry it with the screwdriver and let it flow out into your drain pan.
Also, you'll see that this color is very gray.
It is very dark. We
yeah,
changed
and
it
the
not
reason
too long ago.
And the reason being is because of the original fluid that was in this, or the fluid that was in this before. I'm pretty sure was original, and this car has about 240,000
yep.
miles on it. And we changed this probably about last year, so about 10,000 miles ago to 12,000 miles ago. So it's probably just very gray because it's getting all the rest of the
dirty fluid that was in there.
Super old fluid out of it.
So one other thing to mention. Coming under here and just inspecting some stuff with the Explorer, there are quite a bit of things that we need to replace. So we're thinking of actually doing somewhat of like a mini series where we replace a bunch of stuff. The shocks all the way at the top, you can actually see.
Yeah, this one's definitely leaking. This has always been a squeaky car since I've owned it too. And I've replaced the front shocks, done some other suspension work on the front, but it definitely needs a total kind of overhaul on everything, especially with the parking brakes too. I've known that those have kind of been dead. Pretty sure it's just the pads worn down because the cable still sounds like it's grabbing. Basically, the bushings on
everything.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Are just worn out, just because of the age of the car. We also might end up changing out the exhaust on it for something else that's OE or OEM. Reason being is that this is just a work car for me, and it's just a daily driver as well. So I just want to keep it as original as possible. The exhaust is definitely probably going to be having a leak here soon at some of the joints for it. Basically, there's starting to see like some really deep rust patches on it. And yeah, so probably look forward to like a few episodes maybe in the series of what we're going to end up doing is we're definitely going to end up doing the parking brakes. Parking brakes on these are like shoe brakes or drum brakes. They're just behind the rotor, or a little deeper in than the rotor. And we'll do a video on those. And then we'll most likely do all the suspension next. After that, we'll probably end up doing some of the front suspension. And if I'm feeling up to it, we might also drop a transfer case just to work on it as well. Transfer case on this has been leaking ever since I bought it, but it's been a slow leak.
It's pretty hard to see all the way back there, but if you follow along the back of it, you can see the transfer case, and it's pretty oily.
Yeah, so I've known for a few years that it's been a slow leak. Basically what somebody told me, or one of the mechanics that took a look at my car for me, said, and they just worked next to me, was that it was the output seal on the transfer case itself. Output seal is like really I think it's like $1 to $5 seal.
Same thing with like a rear main seal. It's super cheap, but you have to like, you know,
it's a lot of
tear
work
it
to
apart
do
to get to it.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on this being almost completely drained. We're just gonna let it drain, and then we'll start taking off the rear cover so we can replace the gasket with our replace it with our RTV gasket.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we got all the bolts broken loose, so now we're just gonna take them off. Yeah, those ones are gonna be kind of hard. So that bracket that's kind of blocking the way is the spare tire, like
guard,
basically, but it's riveted in, so you can't just remove it as far as we can tell.
If you want to remove it, you basically have to remove some of the subframe, or part of the framing, and it's just not worth it. It's just deal with it. You have enough room.
Yeah, it's not like this is hard. We've spent like 15 minutes on this.
Yeah. And also the thing is that we've painted this cover too. We painted it before it went in. I just wanted to paint it the same color as the rest of the car.
Yeah.
Just because of I thought it looked cool. Just be aware you are going to scratch it, so you're going to have to touch it up while it's under here. I'm probably going to touch this up like when we get to putting it all back together.
Yeah, we still paint.
Yeah. But if you don't paint it, you're fine.
Or if you don't care.
Yeah. Actually, I might be able to just tug it. Ooh, hello, just tugged off. Sorry.
Oh, wait.
I didn't mean to do that. My bad.
Well, unfortunately, didn't catch on camera. It actually just popped off really easily.
Yeah, I was able to pop it off. So this cover is also the same cover that Davis put on his Mustang.
Yeah.
Same cover that we bought, both on sale. Super nice.
I'll put a part number on. They're actually like on traditional like parts websites. They're really expensive. But if you look up the part number, we bought these for like $60 each. They're really cheap.
And that actually looks like it's sealed okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was leaking a little bit, though.
Yeah, it wasn't leaking that bad.
It smells great.
Yeah, it smells just right. And then I'm going to take your flashlight and take a look as well. Now that, like, there's new fluid in there, I'm just going to put that down right there just so it doesn't trouble too much. I just want to make sure that everything looks okay. I mean, it's 200,000+ miles, so there's going to be wear and tear on it.
So you get some brake clean and spray this out, and then dry up the surface, clean up the cover here, and then apply the RTV, and it should go on pretty easily.
Yeah, and everything looks pretty okay in there.
Another benefit to these covers are the drain and fill plugs have magnets on them, and there was actually a little bit of
metallic
stuff on it.
But in my opinion, what it probably was is that it's probably just residual from like the original fluid, because I don't think this has ever been changed out at all. It just was so...
Again, this fluid's like 10,000 miles, and it's already this black. It's just picking up the rest of the stuff that was in there.
Yeah, so even after this, we might, like, by next year again, just fill and drain it again.
Yeah.
Just so that I can, you know, keep on getting all the rest of the, like, the metallic stuff that's sitting in there out.
All right, I'll go grab the brake clean.
Okay. And then, would you mind grabbing some towels, too?
Yeah.
And then, do we have rubber gloves at all, or no?
No.
Yeah, so whenever you do this, you have to add, I believe it's the entire bottle into it.
Yeah, full bottle.
And yeah.
Yep, for these Ford clutch style limited slip differentials, they require this friction modifier. Ford sells it, but anything you can find at like AutoZone, O'Reilly's, your local parts store.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anything advertised as a friction modifier for rear diffs should work.
Yeah.
You can just see how much oil is on it. Might be kind of hard to see on camera, but it's still, I mean, it cleans it off really nicely, but everything is definitely still like black.
Yeah, so you can kind of see in there that there's some silvering in the gears themselves. Once again, this is 240,000 miles from what I know on this axle alone. So that's kind of normal to see. I don't really see any major chips or anything like that.
Just normal wear.
Yeah, or it's just all pretty much normal wear and tear. Like, I don't do anything too crazy in this besides like drifting in in the snow,
Yeah.
just for fun during the winter. I don't really tow in this, but we might start doing
Plan
that.
to, yeah.
Yeah. Just so then we can start towing the Camaro down to the track.
Yep.
Actually, most of that fluid is out because all that was the carb cleaner. I'm just picking up now.
Yep, and then we need to clean up this cover, but it'll be the same thing. We also need to start taking the gasket off of it.
Yeah.
Should be pretty easy. It's new.
Yeah.
Newish.
Yeah. I might have to scrape part of it.
It actually looks pretty good.
And then this is where a leak should be. Yep. So I think what we're going to do this time, since all the bolt holes line up, is that we're just going to basically put our RTV in the gasket.
The channel.
In the channel. Thank you. And then we're going to go ahead and let it rest for a minute. And then we are going to go ahead and put it in place, put our bolts in, let it match the surface, and then torque it down.
Yeah, basically you'll want it, when you put RTV on it, you want to let it get tacky first, because otherwise if you just torque it right down, it'll just push it out of the way.
Yeah.
So we're going to clean up the cover and then finish drying up that, and we'll apply the RTV and get a bolt in. All right, we got the panel cleaned out best we could. Those little bits in there, that's fine. It's just, there's a lot of crevices to get in there with the paper towels and brake cleans, so it's not the end of the world. We're going to go ahead and put the gasket on now.
I think that needs to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Use that razor blade.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. So it looks pretty good. It's all in the grooves. And then once the, we'll just go ahead and place it up. We've cleaned off the surface of the rear differential there. So it's all dry. We'll place it on, get a couple bolts through. You can kind of tighten them down just a little bit. You don't want to fully, torque them down to where you're going to place it. You also want to let this, probably give this like a minute or two off of it just to get tacky. Push it on, leave it for 10 minutes before you torque it down fully. And then before you put any fluid in, I'd probably wait a full hour. All right, it's been a couple minutes. We're gonna go ahead and put the differential cover on.
Oops.
We did have to buy longer bolts for this.
Yeah.
Because the normal differential cover is extremely thin.
It's basically about like 16th inch metal.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see me scratch probably the heck out of this cover.
You kind of have to.
And that's fine with me.
So you don't tear any of the RTV.
Are you able to thread?
Yeah, I'm getting it pretty much all the way down. Yeah, once you get your side on, you should be good to let go. Cool, you can let go now.
Yeah. That went a lot smoother than what I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be 2 takes of putting on our TV gasket, actually.
Nice. Well, it went smoothly. All right. Yep, so we're going to go ahead and get this on. We're just going to do it finger tight because that will allow the RTV to kind of get into the place it wants to be and give it time to dry. And then 10 minutes from now, we'll go ahead and torque it down. The RTV will be malleable enough to keep its form and really create a good seal. All right, so we got the cover back on, just slightly hand tighten the bolts, like not even with a tool, just hand tight. And we're gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes, then we're gonna torque it down, and then we'll give it another like 45 minutes to an hour before we start pumping the fluid in there. We'll be using the pump here, and then we have, I think it's like 2 1/4 of these, basically up until fluid starts coming out of the fill plug.
Pretty much. So
we let the RTV cure. So it's been about 10 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and start torquing these down in a star pattern. That's only about, I read online it's like 20 to 30 foot-pounds, but we're just gonna do it by hand. You don't need to be extremely, precise with this. So we're gonna go ahead and start doing this.
I'm gonna go for that one, actually.
You can actually see up in the top corner some of it coming out, but that's kind of what you want to see. It's gone tacky enough to where it'll stay under there and also push out the sides a bit. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get all these torqued down, and then we'll probably cut back after about an hour and get this differential filled. Alright guys, we're back. It's been about an hour, a little over an hour actually, and let this dry more. We're ready to start filling it. You can buy this pump online, or pretty much, I think I got this at an auto store. Should be good to go. It looks like there's some discrepancies on how much fluid capacity these rear ends take. From what I've been told, it's like 2 1/4 or 2.3 of these. So just under 3 quarts, or sorry, 3 liters. And what I've always just done is fill it until it comes out of the fill hole. So we're just gonna do either or. We're probably just gonna put 2 in and then 1/4 or some and see, or if it just starts dripping out, then we'll be done. But we can fill it from the front because we have this GT500 cover. I already showed you guys at the beginning of the video. At the back of the differential, that's where your fill is. So just fill it until liquid comes out, or like 2.3 to probably 2.75 liters, and you should be good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on this. So you just take like cap off. Also, if you do have room, you could technically just flip it over and pour it in like that. Also, if you just have some tubing, you can use gravity. Get one of the tubes in the fill hole and then hold that above it, and it'll drain in there. There's a lot of different things you can do to get gear oil in.
It's all kind of more about like how much you want to struggle with it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much
You can
it.
get vacuum machines that will, do it for you. Or
Yeah.
This one is actually better. There's another hand pump that is just ridiculously tiresome. This one's pretty good though. And you can see the bottom of the differential looks good. No liquid pooling or dripping out, and we filled quite a bit in already. Like this is almost 1 liter, or not 1 liter. Yeah, 1 liter, right?
Yeah, it's about a liter. It's just under.
So I'll start cracking open this one. Now that he's getting close to that one. Woo!
Oops.
Yeah, it's a little messy.
That was a little messy.
This is the friction modifier we talked about. If you have a Ford clutch style LSD, you'll need it.
Just put that here. I'm thinking I should just do it like this. And then I'll just, once we get all that in there.
Dunking in the new one. Have it chase it.
Yeah.
It sucked to that 4 ounces real fast.
Oh, shit.
And I'll pour whatever remaining in the new one too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do too.
Yep. All right. I just poured the rest of this friction modifier in there and ready to chase it in there. The biggest hassle with this whole thing is just the wait time with waiting for the RTV to cure.
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Then with the capacity, it should take probably just under half of this. Nice. You'll actually start seeing it drip out of the fill plug up there. Alright, it's going to be kind of hard to see, but you can actually see it's dripping out of there. We just finished off topping it off. So once it starts dripping out of the hole, you know it's pretty much filled. We did use about 2.5 of these, so depending on whatever, internet forum you believe or want to listen to, at least with our application, we use 2.5 of these to fill it. So we're going to go ahead and get the fill plug in, and that should be pretty much it.
Other than that, we might let it sit just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I would probably leave this for another couple hours, or even up to 24 hours, if you just want to be totally sure. We don't want to do this again, so we're going to play it on the cautious side and probably leave it for a bit. But for all intents and purposes,
it's pretty much done.
Pretty much done.
Only thing is that you just have to put your spare tire back on, which...
Yeah.
I kind of recommend just doing that when it's already on the ground.
Yeah, if you get the spare tire out, or if you need to remove your sway bar or anything like that just to gain some more access, now would be a good time to start putting it back together. But yeah, we've got everything all here. We're just going to tighten down probably the drain and fill plug. We only hand tightened the drain plug actually, so we might want to tighten that up. But yeah, we're all good here, and pretty easy to do yourself. You can buy the ramps yourself for like 60 bucks, or jack stands for probably kind of similar. You need a drain pan, but you can use like a turkey pan or something like that. And then just basic hand tools. You need a 12 millimeter socket, and then a normal ratchet wrench, and a hand pump. Or you can just even use tubing and then the fluid. So pretty cheap to do yourself, and definitely better than taking it to a shop.
I'm gonna loosen that just a little bit, just so then it's a little easier to take out next time.
Yep, so we're still looking good, no drips or anything, and pretty much going to end it off. That's basically all you need to do to change your rear differential fluid on a live rear axle, or even independent rear suspension. It'll be pretty much the same thing. Those ones will be easier. Most of them don't even have covers. They might just be closed systems. We'll have like a drain and fill plug, and that's about it. So, yep, that's going to go ahead and end off the video. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and we'll see you in the next video.